Malaysian Airlines footage released.
A car bombing in Baghdad has left 14 dead. Hi, I'm Jenny Tichkowski.
And I'm Chelsea Birdsall, and this is your Public Eye News. Footage of the Malaysian Airlines flight MH17 crashing outside the Ukrainian town of Grabov was released yesterday. The video, which was obtained by the Associated Press nearly 4 months after the crash, revealed shocked residents staring at the wreckage that killed all 298 passengers. Ukrainian media had reported prior to the crash that pro-Russian rebels brought down a military transport plane, and many onlookers of the MH17 flight assumed it was a similar accident. Moscow is currently denying claims of using an SA-11 missile launcher to bring the flight down. The incident has brought serious investigations concerning the civil war that has erupted between pro-Russian separatists and pro-European government. Remains of the crash were returned to the families in August, and debris is still being analyzed by the Dutch Safety Board. Moving to local news, on Saturday, Marquette and Ishpeming police responded to a crash that happened on County Road 581 at 8 p.m. A 42-year-old Nagani man was traveling north when he lost control of his 2003 Chevrolet Tahoe and flipped into a snowbank. The driver was treated at the scene for the minor injuries, and 43-year-old passenger was not injured. Upon further investigation, the driver tested positively for alcohol and was arrested for operation of a motor vehicle while under the influence. High speeds are also said to be an influencing factor in the crash.
Michigan is expecting more lake-effect snow this week. Due to the heavy snow last week, roads have been more icy than normal, causing dangerous conditions for drivers. The snow is expected to start tonight and continue into tomorrow. The National Weather Service is expecting parts of the state bordering Lake Michigan to get anywhere from 6 to 16 inches. Residents in the Upper Peninsula along Lake Superior could see 4 to 18 inches of lake-effect snow. The deadline for a General Motors ignition recall has been extended. This deadline was extended in response to the rise of the death toll from 32 to 33 people. General Motors ran into trouble last week, and it was discovered that the family of a Connecticut woman who died in 2003 had not been notified that her crash had been linked to a faulty ignition switch. The family's lawyer and a U.S. Senator made demands for the recall to be extended past December 31st.
Wisconsin health officials have reported a raw milk accident that caused 38 people to become sick at the Durand High School. 26 of the 38 tested positively for a harmful bacteria found in unpasteurized milk called Campylobacter. This is the largest outbreak of raw milk disease the state has ever seen. The name of the farm has not been released, but officials say it was an isolated incident and no further public threat. A Chicago woman asked a Detroit judge to reconsider his decision to keep her in jail until she is sentenced for illegal citizenship. Rameh O'Day's friends are even using their homes as collateral. O'Day is Associate Director of the Arab American Action Network in Chicago and provides assistance to immigrants. Last week, officials found out she covered up her bombing convictions in Israel when applying for citizenship in 1969. Federal Judge Gershwin Drain sent her to jail with no bond, and prosecutors have until Wednesday to answer her request. After the break, we'll have your national and international news.
Next time on Finding Your Roots, Tina Fey, David Sedaris, and George Stephanopoulos on their Greek heritage.
We were very proud of our culture. Like, our food is delicious, and this music is good.
My father had a bumper sticker in his bedroom that said, "Greeks are great."
I don't remember not being proud of being Greek.
Finding Your Roots.
Tuesday evening at 8 o'clock Eastern.
A car bombing in Baghdad has left 14 people dead. 2 car bombings happened in commercial areas in the capital of Baghdad. The first bombing was in an eastern part of the city, while the second bombing was on the western side. The Iraqi capital is being frequently attacked, but it is reported that the violence has gone down drastically since 2006 and 2007. ISIS terrorists beheaded an American this weekend, bringing the total to 5 Westerners the militants have murdered. As Susan McInnes reports from Washington, the U.S. is accelerating its effort to destroy the group.
The 15-minute video purportedly shows ISIS militants, their faces exposed, decapitating Syrian soldiers. At the end, a masked man with a British accent stands over the severed head of Peter Kassig, a U.S. soldier turned aid worker kidnapped in Syria last year. He is the third American and the fifth Western hostage killed by ISIS.
The spark has been lit.
Unlike previous ISIS videos, it doesn't show Kassig alive before the beheading. The group does identify its location as Dabiq, a town in northern Syria, and threatens U.S. military personnel.
Tomorrow, we will be slaughtering your soldiers.
Residents of Kassig's home state of Indiana remember the sacrifices he made to help Syrians in need.
He chose to go back to help with all the suffering in Syria caused by the civil war.
On Sunday, the White House confirmed the video is authentic, and President Obama called the murder an act of pure evil. The U.S. is now pressing forward with its efforts to destroy the terror group. Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel said Sunday the U.S. military is speeding up its training and advising of Iraqi forces who are fighting ISIS.
We're in the process now of opening 4 training centers in Iraq.
Hagel says Americans should prepare for a long and difficult struggle. Susan McGinnis, CBS News, Washington.
Pope Francis announced this morning that he will be attending the World Meeting of Families in Philadelphia next September. Archbishop Charles Chaput says he's overjoyed, seeing as the Pope made a focus in his papacy to see the challenges that families face across the globe. Details are yet to be finalized as collaboration between local, state, and federal authorities are being set. The meeting could attract more than 1 million people, according to officials. Bill Cosby was back on stage last night despite new focus on allegations that he sexually abused women decades ago. Don Champion has the latest from New York.
Don, dial it again.
Comedian Bill Cosby got plenty of laughs during a show in Erie, Pennsylvania Sunday night. The 77-year-old took the stage amid growing pressure to answer allegations of rape, claims he was asked about during an interview this weekend with National Public Radio.
I'm in the news business. I have to ask the question. Do you have any response to those charges? Shaking your head no.
The allegations date back to a 2005 civil lawsuit that claimed Cosby drugged and raped a woman in his home. He settled the case after more than a dozen other women with similar stories were prepared to testify.
I was completely sick.
Actress Barbara Bowman was one of them. She says Cosby assaulted her in 1985 when she was just a teenager.
I was served a glass of wine, and the next thing I knew, I was hovering over the toilet bowl on my knees in a white T-shirt that was not mine. It was a man's white T-shirt that I did not arrive in.
In a statement Sunday, Cosby's attorney discredited the allegations, saying, quote, "The fact that they are being repeated does not make them true. Fans are cautious about passing judgment."
You know, innocent until proven guilty, as far as I understand in this country. So hopefully it doesn't come to fruition. He's a pretty, large icon.
Cosby has never been charged with sexual assault. Don Champion for CBS News, New York.
A search for a man who pushed a 61-year-old man onto the subway tracks continues. Wei Kun Kwok was with his wife waiting for a downtown train when he was pushed off of the platform. He was killed instantly. Kwok's wife was taken to a hospital after the incident. New York police are still searching for the suspect. Karl Stefanovic protests same-suit sexism by wearing the same suit for a year. Stefanovic did this to support his co-host Lisa Wilkinson after she was continuously criticized for her outfit choices. Not once over the course of a year did Stefanovic get any criticism on what he was wearing. This protest was to prove that women are judged more harshly on what they wear compared to the kind of work they are doing. And after the break, we'll have your weather and sports. Stay tuned.
In 1959, the world faced the possibility of a nuclear holocaust.
At the height of the Cold War, America reluctantly welcomed a visitor.
Mr. Khrushchev will spend 10 days or so traveling in the United States.
I was told that I couldn't go to Disneyland. I asked, why not?
He was now the biggest star on TV.
Cold War Roadshow on American Experience.
Join us Tuesday evening at 9.
Welcome back. I'm Maddie Brinker here with your weather, and outside, as you can see behind me in the Academic Mall, it's pretty chilly outside. I would wear your hat and your gloves to protect against that wind. Currently, it is mostly cloudy with a temperature of 24 degrees and winds at the west-northwest at 20 degrees, and our barometric pressure is 29.51 inches and falling. Tonight is going to be snowy, with a low of 16 degrees and winds at the west-northwest at 22 miles per hour. Tomorrow it's also going to be snowy with a high of 22 and winds also at the west-northwest at 22 miles per hour. Looking around the UP, in Sault Ste. Marie it is 23 degrees and mostly sunny. In Manassik it is 24 degrees and mostly sunny. In Escanaba it is 21 degrees and sunny. In Menominee it is 19 degrees and mostly sunny. In Iron Mountain it is 17 degrees and partly sunny. In Ironwood, it is 12 degrees and cloudy. In Houghton, it is 19 degrees and cloudy. And back here in Marquette, it is 24 degrees and mostly sunny. Looking ahead, on Wednesday, we have a high of 24 and a low of 14, and it will be snowy. Thursday will also be snowy with a high of 20 and a low of 7. And Friday will be partly cloudy with a high of 20 and a low of 11. So our weekend weather ended nicely. How did the season end for the Wildcats?
Well, considering a very slow start to the season, the last game of the season was a real big statement win for the Wildcats, so good for them. The Northern Michigan University quarterback Shea Brown passed for a school record 490 yards to lead the Wildcats to a 66-38 GLIAC win over Findlay in their final regular season game of the year Saturday at the Superior Dome. The win caps NMU's season at 3-8 with a 2-8 GLIAC record. Brown was 19 for 28 with 5 touchdowns, which was just shy of tying the NMU record of 6 passing touchdowns in a game. The Wildcats had a season-best 645 yards of total offense, inching near the NMU record 673 single-game yards. Shea Brown wrapped up the season with closing remarks saying, quote, "We have a lot of work to do this offseason, and we're going to take it one day at a time and try to become the best program we can be," end quote. The Detroit Lions looked to improve their win streak to 5 games yesterday, but ultimately ended up falling short at the hand of the Arizona Cardinals, who currently have the best record in the NFL. The game consisted of the league's 2 best defenses, therefore justifying the low-scoring affair to 14-6. The Lions couldn't manage to score a touchdown due to tight coverage in the Cardinals secondary and added defensive line pressure, keeping star wide receivers Calvin Johnson and Golden Tate in check. Arizona Cardinals and former Lions quarterback Drew Stanton took control of the position after starter Carson Palmer was injured last week, completing the game's only 2 touchdowns to Michael Floyd. The Lions look to bounce back this weekend when they take on the red-hot Patriots in New England. When it comes to the NFL, the off-field developments are as intriguing as what happens on the field lately, and the latest example was the unannounced check-in on teams' medical staffs by Drug Enforcement Administration agents. Sunday's operation was part of an investigation into whether teams have mishandled prescription drugs. A lawsuit filed in May on behalf of former players says the NFL and its teams, physicians, and trainers acted without regard for players' health, with prescription painkillers and anti-inflammatories handed out to mask pain and minimize lost playing time. At least 3 road teams this weekend, including Tampa Bay, San Francisco, and Seattle, were visited by agents. So it's getting towards that time where it's really cold out, and some people really enjoy cuddling. I know I do, but I hear there's this pay for cuddling situation.
There definitely is. A new business is open offering cuddles to go. 30 minutes of cuddling is $35, or an hour of snuggling goes for $60. Lisa Kelly's intentions behind these services are not for people to get more intimate contact. She says that she opened Indie Cuddles in Indianapolis to help people who are lonely, stressed out, or just in need of human contact. I think that's a great idea.
I do think it's a really good idea. I mean,
Good idea, but I'm not one to pay for cuddling. But
I'm interested to know what the difference between cuddling and snuggling is.
That's a really
That's
important
a point.
factor, I
That's a
believe.
point.
I never thought about that.
what to say? That's all the time we have today for Public Eye News. Thank you for tuning in. Please tune in tomorrow.
The preceding program was produced in studios located in the Edgar L. Hardin Learning Resources Center by WNMU-TV Northern Michigan University Public Television.